with the bottom line of making informed choices about where you want to work. So this 3+3 formula, I think, is really helpful, and it makes it a little easier to to remember. 3 reasons why you want to work for the company. Company focused, not because I want to work for you because I hear you're hiring, but I want to work for you because you're one of the top whatever companies in Denver, or because you have a tremendous social outreach program, or whatever it is when you've done your research. And then 3 reasons why you would be a good fit for that target company or that role. Because if you understand them more and really understand, what you have to contribute, you can make a much more compelling argument. Another thing, in looking up the companies, their press releases are a really good way to find out information. Because they generally only put press releases out about things that they're really proud of. So if you've gone, to the trouble to see some of those things and can bring them up, they know you're interested. Employers tell me that, many times they get somebody to an interview, and you've had to do all this work to get an interview, and then they'll ask the question, so, what do you know about us? Or, so, why do you want to work here? And sometimes they just get this blank stare back, because sometimes people have applied to so many companies, they don't even know who's who anymore. So knowing that information is going to differentiate you from other people who apply. And they always ask the question, so why would you be a good fit for us? So you need to know your own stuff, so that you can tell them why you would be a good choice. Writing skills are really important. You never know. I mean, the person you're writing to could care less about capitalization and, grammar. So they don't care if you do it either. But I would say that that's a pretty risky bet. I always notice. And people will judge you, if you don't capitalize and, if you're, spell check. Spell check's so easy. On cover letters and cover emails, think of it as an introduction. Think of it as being able to tell them the 3 reasons why you're really interested in working there and 3 reasons why you'd be a good fit. And if you've done that research, then it's not so hard to write it. Only do a cover letter if they ask you to do it, or if you feel compelled to do it. I don't ever read cover letters, but another hiring person, that may be their thing. They love to read cover letters. But the reason why they'll ask you for a cover letter is to see how you write. And so, make sure that it's good if you're going to do it. Some job sites require that you have a cover letter. So then, of course, you have to have one. But if you make yours different because of your research, you're more likely to get an interview than somebody who just sends the same one to everyone. Be a perfectionist. And every follow-up email. Sometimes you'll get in an email string with people where it's like you're texting, because they're asking you short questions. So you available on Friday? No, but I'm available on Thursday. Make sure, don't drop your guard on those, because those make a difference too. I once introduced someone I know who was a senior level marketing person to another person who I knew who was also a senior level marketing person. And the first one wanted to get hired by the second one. So I made the introduction, and the first one sent the most ridiculous email I've ever seen. There was a typo in the subject line, and I don't know if she was just running out and she did it in 2 seconds, but the person I introduced her to said, seriously? Nice introduction. So who did it reflect on? That person's never going to get hired by the other one, and they're going to be remembered, that they, were an idiot in how they corresponded. but it also hurt me because I made that introduction. So it's really important. Use online job sites, but don't make them your only avenue for getting a job. I mean, do some outreach to companies that you're interested in, and not just rely on the job sites, because it's so easy to hit submit and apply for way too many things. And you've heard people talk about, oh my God, I applied to 100 jobs and nobody's gotten back to me. And my question would be, will you qualify for any of those jobs? Because you just kind of get in this thing that, it's easy. If you look at position descriptions in the requirements section, they might have 10 things in it, 7 to 10 things. Most of those things are BS. They're like excellent communication skills, good team building skills, things that all people think they have. And so people will look at those and go, dude, I'm perfect for this. But what they don't look at are the 2 or 3 above it that say you need 3 to 5 years of experience, with social media skills that includes Google Analytics and HubSpot and Hootsuite, and they go, but I have great communication skills. So look at the stuff that's really hard and assess if you've got a shot or not. Because if you don't have a shot, it's just going to be frustrating to you when you don't get a call. Because you're not going to think about the fact that I'm not getting a call because I didn't have those things. You're going to just own that you're not getting a call. So I guess I just do that.
Next one? Okay.
Leverage your network effectively. So a ton of people are going to ask you, so what do you want to do? And if you say, I don't care, just want a great job, they can't do anything to help you. But if you're able to say, I'm really interested in a marketing position, some of the companies that I'm thinking about are Red Bull or some of the other consumer product goods companies. Then they might be able to say, I know somebody who works there, and they can maybe make an introduction or give you more information. But if you make it just that you don't know, nobody can help you. So try and narrow it, but don't have a long list of companies that you're interested in, because then things just go in the opposite direction, because it's, data overload. But I think if you have like 3 that you can kind of say, 3 of the companies I'm thinking about are addictive. And if they say, I don't know anybody in any of those, maybe you have another 2, that you can kind of pull out and say, how about this one or this one? And you're going to get more than what you're going to get if you leave it wide open. Otherwise they'll tell you about, some crazy job they heard about that you're probably going to hate, right? Because they're just trying to offer something up to be helpful. And you can ask for advice on those too. Not just if they know anybody there, but if they heard about anything about that company. Because there are a couple of companies in town, which I won't say because we're in a large group setting, they're terrible places to work. And if you look on Glassdoor, you can find it out really easily. But people know this. So, ask people what they think about things. So mapping your strategy is just putting together all the things that you've done. Companies that you're interested in, why you want to work there, reaching out to them. It just all kind of fits together. We have a worksheet on the website that helps you kind of capture some of the data. I met with someone once and they had like 3 legal pad sheets of paper, and then they had sticky notes, and there was just like stuff everywhere. And it's really hard to organize a search, for a job if your information's all over the place. If you can kind of keep it combined a little bit, I think it'll help you. And, the goal is to land an interview. I mean, we've spent all this time on everything else, But what you want to get out of all that other stuff is an at-bat. You want to get an interview. So, it may have been a little while since you really freshened up your information about the company that you went after. So, go back, look at the information you put down, take a quick spin of their website, see if there's anything new about them that, you could talk about in the interview. Really be able to present your background. Some people say, tell me about your high school experience. And a lot of people's reactions to that is like, seriously? And they're just kind of caught off guard. So just being able to say, I had if you want to be positive, I had a great high school experience. I really got involved in speech and debate, got to go to tournaments, and it was really, a great thing. I think it helped me make myself be more, confident. I was going to say articulate, but I wasn't like that. Think about college, being able to describe that, being able to describe, tell me about when you worked at this, nonprofit. And just have a short little thing that you can say that, I did this, here's kind of what we did, here's what I learned, and, tie it up in a bow with whatever the happy ending was. So every job, every piece of it, because you don't know what they're going to ask you about. So really be able to describe all of it in these short little things. Be able to say why you left jobs. And, again, positive. Never talk poorly about your previous employer, even if it was the worst thing that ever happened to you. Being able to say, I was there for about 6 months. It was a good experience. I learned a lot. And you could say, I guess, but my biggest takeaway was I learned that, that was really not what I wanted to do. You're not bashing anybody, but you've kind of gotten it across that, it wasn't a good fit for you, and that's why you left. No whining. And I have candidates that I work with tell me all kinds of crazy stuff. And I say, I hope you're not sharing that with employers. And they go, oh no, I would just tell them that. That's probably not true. And then think about the strengths and weaknesses. And, most of them, the hiring managers heard 1,000 times. Try and think of some ones that are a little different. I think networking is a good one. When I first started at CU Denver and had to be in situations where I was networking, it was a little challenging for me, but, I've learned to be better at it. Because nobody loves networking. So, public speaking, some of those, kinds of things. Don't do that, I'm a perfectionist, and it's so hard. They've all heard that. So, any questions?
Come on, guys, questions. So, for someone who has no job experience, professional experience, get a certification, would that help? Is that kind of proof of their level of proficiency?
I think that certainly helps. Most people who think they know Excel, as an example, know how to put formulas in cells, but they don't know how to do some of the things that you're teaching. Mm-hmm. So I think that a certificate in that would be helpful. But again, I think you can leverage, I've seen lots of resumes with students who don't have business experience, right? They've worked in, fast food, or, they've taught swimming, or, they've done any one of a zillion things. That will obviously help them get to the next step, but I think how you present that information can help you do it.
So, anyone has a resume that's ready and they want to discuss? Nuh-uh. Thinking about preparing a resume and then show up at the office and ask for help?
And at my office, you have to make appointments because I just think it's an important piece of it because you're going to have to make an appointment with anything else that you do. So, you know, I'll spend anywhere from a half hour to an hour with you, and we'll go over your resume, and by the time you leave, you'll be done. And so, you know, it's a good, I probably should, you know, like teaching you how to do it. I'm more prone to doing it, because then when you leave, you've got it, and it doesn't go back and forth between you and me 6 times. Like this? No, not but like this. Like this. I'd rather just have it be pretty much done. So if you are going to come make an appointment, make sure you can send a Word version of your resume, because we'll start hammering away on it right on that. And if you bring it in a PDF, then it doesn't happen.
Can you? This is going for the online class. So you have to go to the website, create a account, and then it asks about a lot of stuff. Actually, it shows you like a list of employers you guys have, right?
That is on Career Connect. So we put that behind a wall because it was just way too much work to let it out there for all those DU people. I'm not going in the best way. I have it hotkeyed on my computer, so.
Can you Google it? I think it's Career Center, and if you Google Career Center at UCD, it'll show up.
Well, but we don't want the Career Center.
Well, I mean, you were thinking, Graduate Career Center, I'm sorry.
If I put my fingers on the right keys, it would be very helpful. So it's just basic. Name, street address, city, state, email address, phone. I mean, you can put the little line things between them and put them together to try and condense space. But see, pretty basic, objective. And then, you know, that's how you do summary of qualifications. And then education. If your GPA is good, put it on. And then